Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. My name is Joe. That is Adam McCullough, and this is Uncensored. And we are going to be looking at what INEOS have done so far. We're all obsessed with what's going to happen with the manager, the decision on this post-season review that they're doing.
Moving on.
No, that's not true. They've done loads already in their first 6 months. We're going to go through it and look at Manchester United's new structure and exactly the revolution that INEOS have begun at Manchester United. But first of all, Adam, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm a little bit hungry, so if I appear to be moody, that's why.
Yeah. Or if you start eating the microphone or something like
that. I
that.
don't hate Joe or anything like that, like people seem to suggest in comments all the time. Oh, McCullough hates Joe. Yes, I do, but shut up.
Yeah, but just stop telling me about it, because it's awkward then, isn't it? It's weird if
stop
everyone
making
knows.
it a thing.
Yeah, exactly. Just leave it. So yeah, if you just start seeing my head as a big roast chicken, like something from Scooby-Doo, it's because you're really hungry. Is that it? Let's get into this then. So obviously, like I said before, we're all waiting for this manager announcement. But in a way, that would be just the sort of icing on the cake of changes that INEOS have made so far. So we'll go through these.
As we discussed yesterday,
yeah, go
on. Are we?
Are we what?
Are we waiting for an announcement?
I haven't. You're the only person I've seen with this take, by the way. That they're not even doing what everyone says they're doing. There's not even an end of season review. There's nothing. Do you honestly think that?
We've been whipped up into a frenzy about the manager situation.
Yeah.
When I have no doubt they would be possibly consider a move, but surely that would have been done by now.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And surely, like you'd heard more reliable talk. Like it's got to a point where, like, for Britzo and them, man, are just repeating what they've already said for fucking weeks and days. Like, we might be waiting for something that isn't coming.
That's possible.
Eric Ten Hag's Red and White Army, he's staying, and so why do you need to announce that?
Yeah, I suppose if they do nothing, eventually the season starts and he's the manager. I get that. But it does seem as though at some point journalists at least will report that they've decided to keep him. Even if United never announce Ten Hag to manage next season, I do think we'll have some clarity, because everyone's saying that at the moment they're still interviewing other people. They don't know themselves whether they want to keep him. You'd think we'd get some clarity on that at some point, wouldn't you?
Probs, but again, if we're only going by rumours, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
And whilst there have been a few credible people kind of mentioning it here and there, they've not gone really, really big on like the few stories that were United are sacking him and that were like not so reliable people, maybe.
Yeah. Lesser known, lesser reliable journalists. Well, let's stick to the facts then. Let's stick to the people who are coming in, who United definitely are in contact with, who will be the new sort of staff at Manchester United. So let's start at the very top. We sort of know a lot of these names, but there is a few here that have been very recent and some sort of behind the scenes people who not everyone will be necessarily aware of. So we start with Omar Barada. Will come in as the CEO on July the 13th, replacing Richard Arnold officially. At the moment,
did you just say welcome in German? Willkommen.
Willkommen, July 13th. I welcome him on July the 13th to Manchester United. Then you've got Jean-Claude Blanc, who's the CEO of INEOS Sport, sort of generally. He's going to be the acting CEO until Barada arrives. He's also director. Jean-Claude Van Damme is in. Dave Brailsford, of course, is the head of sport for INEOS. At the minute, he doesn't have a sort of particular role at United that I can find anywhere. There's no like official title, but he's literally head of sport for INEOS, so he's very much a powerful guy.
This is a very fun fact. I know you love a fun fact.
I love a fun fact.
But Dave Brailsford names on the streets is Davy Baby. That's his name on the streets.
Is that what they're calling him? Davy Baby.
Yeah, that's what they.
That suggests that he's got a sort of a slightly wink side to him, doesn't it? That
might be Uncensored first ever exclusive.
Is that true? That's not what people are actually calling him, is it? That you're making that up?
That's what I've heard.
No, you haven't heard that. No one is saying that. I'm calling him Davy Baby from now on. So let's start. Yeah.
See, we've just made a rumour and now it's become true. See?
Davy Baby. Someone will be calling him that.
See.
And now
you wait for an announcement.
Manchester United set to announce the nickname of Dave Brailsford in the coming days. A lot of sources do seem to indicate it will be Davy Baby. But just as they're your sort of top three, your big boys, you're sort of above the CEO or above, should I say. What do you make of those three? Obviously, Barada not quite arrived yet, but you know his CV. We've spoken about him before, but because
so who have we got to so far? Barada,
Blanc, and Brailsford.
So obviously, Dave Brailsford, the knowledge I have of him is from like cycling and stuff like that. Yeah. And was there some like controversy with them anyway? I don't want to be linking the wrong people to the wrong thing.
No, Dave Brailsford was part of the Team Sky and then Team INEOS Tour de France wins that have had some hints of drug doping sort of levelled at him. But firstly, everyone in cycling has had that to some degree, and especially when you're winning, you're always going to get accusations of that.
Two wrongs don't make it right.
That's true. I was going to say, that's not to say it's fine to dope if you're a cyclist, but I don't think he's been convicted of things. And also, come on, it's Tour de France, innit? It's part of the game. Really? Sort of.
But really, I mean, if you look at like Pep's doctor and stuff, maybe can't beat him, join him, as you've just said.
Do you know what I mean? Like literally, allegedly, Pep Guardiola was no, not even allegedly. Wasn't Pep? Pep has been part of guilty.
Yeah, Pep and Dr. Cougar and that.
Yeah,
and he still uses the guy.
Yeah, exactly. That's not alleged. That they were convicted in the 90s when he was a player.
And that is a thing. Barca, Bayern, thing, you know, just saying. Just do a couple of Googles.
Yeah, exactly. I've got a little bit of a line on this so we can be a bit more matter of fact about this Dave Brailsford doping controversy here. In March 2018, Commons Digital Culture, Media and Sport Committee published a report combating doping in sport. Chapter 2 of the report, British Cycling and Team Sky, focused on the therapeutic use exemptions gained by both organisations for use of drugs on the WADA, which is an anti-doping agency, prohibited list, citing the defence used by Wiggins that they were to find gains and to put oneself back on a level playing field with rivals. So there are some links that they are trying to use some drugs for a bit of a boosty, which we may be trying to do as well. But I don't think anyone's been convicted. No one's had any medals taken off them or anything like that. But it's a bit of a sort of loophole, apparently, that he's...
Oh, yeah, we don't care about that, but we've just clarified ourselves in case anyone wants to try and sue us.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. So that's Brailsford. Jean-Claude Blanc. What do you make of him?
Jean-Claude. So you got Brailsford, you got John. Is he the one that was at PSG?
So he was at PSG. He was a big part.
And he helped with their stadium and stuff like that.
No, that was Juventus. So at Juventus, he was
Juventus, and then but he also helped with like turning, like the hospitality side of things and stuff like that over at PSG, and like increasing the income. Obviously, that's all very commercial revenue based. Manchester United already do that a lot. We obviously want to see. We don't want to see Old Trafford become overly hospitality and stuff like that.
No.
Which I think what PSG fans complained about at some point. But also, he's been part of some big deals. He can obviously bring money into clubs, which is important. And he's overseen. He's overseen.
Oversawed.
He's overseen stadium changes before and things like that. So he's experienced in that in terms of what Manchester United are probably looking to do. And then you've got Omar Barata, our favourite cheese. He is quite experienced at City, at Barcelona. He was there as well. He was like commercial guy. Then he becomes a football guy there. So look, it seems like we're bringing in all the right people. The alarming thing for Manchester United fans, when you consider how we've been run for the last however many years, is a lot of these positions weren't replacing people. Like a lot of the roles we're going to talk about, they're just guys coming into roles that weren't even there before. They're not like someone's getting sacked and we're going, we got a new guy. No, we're inventing this position at Man United, even though they've existed at clubs like Brighton and stuff for years.
It is a bit mad, isn't it? Like, I think the two, Barada and Blanc, are, Blanc and Brailsford, sorry, have both just sort of come into roles that didn't really exist before. I think Dan Ashworth as well is going to be that sort of director of football that we don't have at the moment. We'll move down to those because Jason Wilcox, who's been appointed as technical director, and we want to talk a little bit more about him because there's differing rumours depending on what you read. That
Fun fact about Jason Wilcox is
go on.
His favourite crisp. His favourite crisps are mini cheddars, which arguably aren't even a crisp.
No, they're a small biscuit in a way, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
That's mental. Weird. I thought you were going to say it's
he also
Wilcox
loves those
tail.
cheese and chive pretzels you get on a plane.
Oh yeah, he fucking loves them. He absolutely. What are they called now?
But don't we all?
They are really, you'd never buy them yourself, but when you get them
know,
somewhere, you
I
do
made
like
the mistake. I bought them myself. I bought a big bag, and it just didn't hit the same. The same.
Those Penn State pretzels that you get, and they're so
but
delicious.
He loves them so much, he'll eat the whole big bag.
He'll buy a big bag at home from Costco and he'll just eat the whole thing. This show is brought to you by Manscaped. You know Manscaped by now. They have sorted out over 8 million men with their below-the-waist grooming, and you are no different. Using the code Paddock20, you can get 20% off and free shipping. Now, Manscaped have done something very, very special. Very special indeed. They have gone and brought out the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, featuring the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Now, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is your go-to trimmer for the boys downstairs. It's got 2 next-gen skin-safe heads. One, which is just your general trimmer, and you can switch that out and pop in the new foil blade to get as close as you want, wherever you want. And the thing with the Performance Package is, it's got it all. That's why it's called the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. So it's got the trimmer, it's got the Lawnmower 5.0, but it's also got the Weed Whacker 2.0 for the ear and the nose hair as well. Then you've got your liquid formulations, the Crop Soother and the Crop Reviver as well, which is a ball moisturizer and a toner and refresher as well. And with all of that, you get 2 free gifts. Not only do you get all those things I just mentioned, you also get the boxer briefs and you get the shed travel bag to put it all in as well, so you can take it with you on holiday, take it around to your mate's house, take it to the changing rooms and get yourself all sorted for summer. Because I tell you what, I'm looking at the temperature right here. I'm not talking global warming, it's summertime, yeah? That means that there's a bit more sweat going on. The pollen is in the air. People are going out. You're having a couple of drinks in the beer garden. You don't want to be getting back to someone's house, whipping off your kegs, and you've got a big sweaty bush going on. You need to take care of yourself, and Manscaped will sort all of that out for you. Like I said, use our special code Paddock20 to get 20% off and free shipping. Your balls will thank you. So you've got Wilcox and you've got Ashworth. Obviously, Wilcox also was at City, and I think he was the sort of head of development or something like that at Manchester City before going to Southampton last season and then this season. He's now back at, obviously, a top flight club with Man United. He will be the technical director. Some reports that he's going to be sort of overseeing the style of play and things like that at United, or certainly being part of the team that actually enforces that style of play through the manager and through the players. I think obviously that must come from above him, but he's the one who's on the ground trying to actually implement it.
I doubt it'd be so like intricate as in like he's going to control the tactics, how we defend at corners and all those kind of things, right? But it's going to be like, we want to play a quick style of, I don't know, it's, you know, it's going to be like in general terms, isn't it? Rather than, and then a manager's, because even when Fergie was there, manager's tactics used to go through the levels at academy and stuff like that. So it's not an alien thing, you know what I mean? And I think it comes down to just culture, doesn't it? Having a sustained culture rather than just having, and then I suppose that links to transfers more than anything in that. And obviously the kind of managers you bring in, but also your transfers in that. Manchester United for many years have been buying players for different managers, for different styles of play, and then you end up with a squad that's just like a patchwork. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it doesn't really make any sense. So then you try, every time you get a new manager or a year down the line with a manager, 2 years down the line, which I think if you look at every manager, we kind of get to that point. You go, oh shit, we need loads of work doing. So hopefully having that consistent style links to transfers, I think, a lot, and what kind of players you bring in, and then hopefully sees us avoid the mistakes of the past.
Yeah, definitely. I think
like we've wasted some big talents, man, as well. Manchester United have, just through the culture of the club and the chopping and changing of different styles of managers and things like that.
Yeah, it makes complete sense. Like, if you look at the club from the top down, as it filters down to the players, the board and then the sort of the CEO and people like that would all get together and come up with broad stroke ideas for what the United should be, how we should operate both financially and in terms of the playing. Then underneath that, you'd have the CEO and Dan Ashworth coming up with, like, here's how we want Manchester United, the basic tenets of how we play. Then you've got Wilcox to say, here's a bit more detail on that. We want this style of play. We think that we should focus on these 3 or 4 things. And then you've got the manager who actually teaches that to the players. And then the players who go out there and do it. It would make sense it to sort of funnel into the players at the bottom of that, wouldn't it? Like, everyone should have a say in it. If you're running Manchester United Football Club, how we play is a crucial part of that. So to me, that makes sense. And, you know, Wilcox, I don't think he's going to be, you know, out on the pitch, like you said, putting cones out and drilling players. But he should be giving some assistance to the manager of, like, here's how we're going to be doing things at United. Can you do that? Dan Ashworth, who's sort of above Wilcox or sort of parallel to him, maybe slightly above, is wanted as the sporting director. I think he probably is, yeah. Wanted as sporting director, currently still on gardening leave. He's in negotiations, potential legal suits with Newcastle about how they got rid of him. He's been sending emails from dodgy accounts to people. It's all kicking off with him. But basically,
I told you it happens, isn't it? What I've been saying to you is he's been working from the moment United said, you're going to work for us.
Yeah.
And he said, sound. He's been working for us. Same with Omar Barada. It's stupid to think otherwise.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like you think when a manager agrees to join a club, he doesn't start working for them to the contractual date.
Yeah, of course not.
He's already mentally in there.
Yeah.
He's already having discussions with people, agents, you know, whatever your role. You already start those discussions. Or if you're Dan Ashworth and you've compiled I love the word, dossier on players, yeah.
I love a dossier.
It's a great word, that, isn't it?
It's fantastic,
a great word, that.
Yeah. What's better, dossier or manifesto?
Is that French? Dossier. Is that French?
It's got to be French, hasn't it?
Yeah, let's have a look.
I'll look now. Dossier origin. Yeah, comes directly from French. Which, when you read the translation, it loses a bit of its sexual magic. It specifically means a bundle of papers with a label on the back. That's not that sexy, is it?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
That's such a shame.
Oh, no. See, that epitomizes, like, Paris for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
You know, like, postcard, it's sexy. Postcards and people's Instagrams and all that stuff, sexy. Go there, shithole.
Go there, it's just a bundle of papers with a letter on the back or whatever it said. That's a shame, really, isn't it? But
shithole.
So we're talking about dossier. Dan Ashworth.
Yeah, so he's got a dossier of players. You think that still belongs to Newcastle? Are you fucking mad?
Yeah.
That's his, bro.
Yeah. He's got his ideas.
He's backed that up on his hard drive.
He's got it on the cloud. You can't take that away from him. You can't take his G drive off him. So he's going to be coming in, obviously, sending names left, right and centre, you Jared Branthwaite's, etc. What do you make of him, what we've seen from him, his sort of CV? He's worked at Brighton, he's worked for England, he's worked at Newcastle, West Brom.
Sorry to cut you off there. Do that a lot. As the comments would also tell you as well.
Stop talking about these comments. They've rattled you on him. You can't let them rattle you. That's rule number 1.
I'm 11 years into this, yeah. And mate, they rattled me the other day. Because you know what?
Go on.
On Twitter and stuff like that, I expect it. Yeah. It doesn't rattle me on there. Doesn't rattle me. On the club, it doesn't rattle me. But like you lot, yeah. You lot have grown up with me. I'm not talking to you, Joe. Talking to the people at home. You know me, man. The fuck is wrong with you lot? Love you, though. Anyway.
Yeah. And they love you as well.
What were we talking about?
We're talking about Dan Ashworth. What have you made of his career so far?
And his dossier.
And his sexed up dossier.
Yeah, so Dan's dossier, yeah, is going to get in that room and slap his dossier on the table, yeah. And, look, on a serious note, I think the work he's done at England, Brighton, etc. is quite impressive. but it's Manchester United. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, when you're at Brighton and you're asking for players and they want 5 mil, that's not going to be the same when you. So he's going to be tested. Do you know what I mean? On different level, but obviously he's still going to have the same knowledge and the same kind of things like that. And I'm excited to see what that brings for Manchester United. You've seen it work well elsewhere. So yeah, but obviously it's going to be different and new for him as well. Just like when a manager comes in and there's new pressures on him, just like there's different pressures on Jim Ratcliffe managing Manchester, like co-owning Manchester United as opposed to Nice or anything else at his own. Manchester United is a different beast. We've seen it chew people up and spit them out. So we got to hope these guys can all come together to make the right decisions, man.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a lot more to get through as well. Some of these obviously won't be quite as impactful on the day-to-day at United, so we can. Are
you going to talk about Sir Jim Ratcliffe at any point?
You know what? He isn't on the list, but
because I've got a fun fact on him.
Oh, God.
I've got a fun fact on him, actually.
The fun fact on the owner of and founder of INEOS, Manchester United's co-owner.
This is a really fun fact.
I love it.
Sir Jim Ratcliffe, ran the London Marathon this year, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Laurence Bouvier, aka Bouvie, the big-headed Manchester City fan that I have the misfortune of sitting next to on the club.
Another one.
Also ran the London Marathon last year. And Jim Ratcliffe smoked his time by 2 hours.
2 hours?
This is a 78-year-old man.
71.
This is, fun fact, nearly got ruined. This is a 71-year-old man. Yeah. And he smoked. Bouvie ran it in like 6 hours, and your mum done it in 4.
Do you know what? I don't know whether I'm more embarrassed for Bouvie or impressed by Ratcliffe. Genuinely, running a marathon in 4 hours is very good. Like, that's very impressive, especially for someone who's 71. But at any age, that's really good. I know a guy who he has his own running club, and he finished did a half in marathon.
4 hours and 30 minutes.
Yeah, 4.5 hours. That's
and
only
Bouvie's
20
was
minutes.
Like 6 hours and 55 minutes.
That's not. Well, he's not even ran it then, has he? In all honesty, Bouvie's is 7 hours. No, I mean I'm doing a marathon in October. I'll probably go slower, but 7 hours. Was he even moving for all of it?
But the thing with Bouvie's, his thighs rub together, and is BBL Bouvie. So
yeah, the thighs rubbing together, just sparks just flying down. It's setting his socks on fire over and over again. He stopped at KFC for a lunch for an hour and a half. That did it. That didn't help. Bloody hell. That is, I tell you what though, genuinely, 4.5 hours is impressive time.
It's impressive.
For the rat boy.
I couldn't do 4.5 hours.
Well,
that's a fun fact. I know 3 fun facts for you today. I had them up my sleeve and I thought, we'll just drop them.
Well, what about a fun fact for Roger Bell, who was appointed as the Chief Financial Officer for Man United in May this year? He's joined from INEOS.
I can't make up facts. Do you know what I mean? All my facts today are true. I can't just make up because you go Roger Bell and I'm going to go fun fact. I don't know.
Well, he's going to be the new CFO of Manchester United. What do you make of that?
Let's see who Roger Bell is. Let's have a look. Roger Bell. From the Greater Southampton area.
Brilliant.
That's a little fun fact for you. And he
no
went to
way
Leeds
is there
Beckett
a Greater
University.
Southampton. That's not a place.
And he's from Leeds Beckett University.
That's all right.
I need to join LinkedIn to view his profile. So
okay, well, let's move on then.
It is him because it says INEOS on there.
Okay, there you go. That is him.
INEOS and Leeds Beckett University. Let me view. Fuck.
Are you joining LinkedIn in real time on a podcast? Is that what's happening right now?
Yeah. Agree and join.
Agree and join. Only essential cookies.
I have to put in my job title. Fuck.
What the hell do you even put for that?
YouTuber's not there.
I wonder if we could maybe come back to this as I go through some more of the names. So up next,
I'm just going to say I'm a student.
Is Ipswich Town's head of recruitment, Sam Williams, who's been at United before, then went to Ipswich, I'm guessing with McKenna, and now has come back to Manchester United. His role at United hasn't been sort of completely clarified, but he was the head of recruitment at Ipswich Town. He's come in recently. Then yesterday, there's 2 more still to go here. Yesterday, United announced the appointment of Arsenal's head physio, Jordan Rees, as they look to further strengthen their medical department. The medical stuff is certainly an interesting one, Adam, because all the injuries we've had this season, I'm not one to blame it all on the medical team, like they're just elbowing people in the hamstrings and saying, get out there, kiddo. They're obviously well trained and, whatever. But do you think that maybe we're looking at that and going, actually, we could have done things better here?
Sorry, I was just joining LinkedIn, so I didn't really hear a word that he said. Because we need some fun facts on Roger Bell, innit?
Sorry, I was just joining LinkedIn. I didn't hear a word that you said. It's so good.
So, fun facts for Roger Bell. His skills are listed as forecasting, Microsoft Office.
Fuck off! We're not hiring him just because he knows how to make a spreadsheet, surely. I know how to do those transitions on PowerPoint, all the really cool ones.
But also management and strategic planning. He went to Leeds Beckett University, where he has a master's in finance and accounting, and he had a distinction.
That's
very
good,
impressive.
That's good.
And yeah, he's now CFO of INEOS, and he's been at INEOS for 23 years and 6 months.
Oh, shows it pays off, doesn't it? Loyalty pays off.
Yeah. Let's see how he described himself. Oh no, but 6 months ago he said he's retiring from INEOS.
Oh fuck! What the hell? What have we done? That was literally when we bought Man United. Was that a protest retire, do you think?
As some of you may know, I'm retiring from INEOS at the end of the month. Plus 40 years with ICI INEOS, and now time for a change in direction. I've worked with many fantastic people over that
You're not
period.
reading the whole thing.
Thank you.
Surely.
No, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. This is Grandpa gets used to technology feature, isn't it? Adam McCullough learning what LinkedIn is for the first time.
But I put myself as unemployed at Stretford Paddock.
That's not a thing. Don't let people know that that's an option.
It is now.
Bloody hell.
Right, I think people are bored of this. So
I think that's very, very good. So does that suggest to you, back to what we're talking about with the new chief, what's his exact title? Let me get it right. His head physio from Arsenal, Jordan Rees, has come in. Does that suggest to you that they think these lot aren't up to the job, or do you just think we probably need some more people?
Am I right in thinking we got one of Arsenal's injury last time?
Yeah, we did. I'll get the details.
That happened before, hasn't it? This is deja vu.
Yeah, like a year ago or something.
And
like
then
that.
everyone got injured when he came.
Yeah.
And everyone's been injured.
So here we go. Former Arsenal physio to lead overhaul of United medical department amid mounting injury crisis. This was in December. So this was when supposedly we'd got someone from Arsenal who was meant to be going through everyone, and it was Gary O'Driscoll, Arsenal's former long-serving physio. So his key task has been to lead a thorough review of United's medical department, which has returned a damning verdict. So that was in December. Since then, the injuries have only got worse. And maybe, though, the end of that review is we need more people, and I want to bring in Jordan Rees, also from Arsenal. They clearly will know each other from their time at Arsenal. That's probably a conclusion that United's current medical team wasn't up to scratch, isn't it?
Mm.
Are you?
Yeah, but why are we going back there?
Well, because maybe the guy that we just got in hadn't really. He's not the one that's been implementing what's gone on this season. He's probably been doing his review of this season and has come to the conclusion that we're not good enough.
Yeah, we need to get that guy out that we just got as well, and then let's get rid of him.
Do you want to find any fun facts on him? On the guy that we got, Gary O'Driscoll?
What's it? Gary O'Driscoll.
Yeah. Adam McCullough just absolutely loving using LinkedIn for the first time ever here. Have you signed up for premium?
So last one week ago,
here we go.
He shared an opportunity to join Manchester United's medical team. We are seeking an assistant team doctor to support our first team, women's team, and academy. Is that the guy we just got now?
I think it might be. No way. I didn't know they just listed that stuff on LinkedIn.
course, how else do you do it? And legally, you have to do it, don't you? Legally.
That's true.
Legally, you have to.
Wow.
Yeah. So 9 months ago, lifelong Red Gary O'Driscoll has taken up his role at Manchester United. Lifelong Red. Since when did I start saying that about, like, you know?
Yeah, physios and stuff. The implication being that he wasn't trying very hard as a physio when he was at Arsenal compared to how
all these people are going to know I'm looking at them.
They'll think, who the fuck is this unemployed person from Stretford Paddock that's looking at all our posts? Yes, they are going to know, yeah.
Fuck, this is the last one I'm looking at.
No, we've got one more after this.
Although I've just found Ryan Reynolds, so we might end up over there. Imperial College London. He went to between 1992 and 1997.
None of this.
He was also the team doctor
bullshit
for the Ireland rugby team. He was also the team doctor for the British and Irish Lions. Team head of sports medicine at the Arsenal Football Club Public Limited Company, and he's now head of sports medicine at Manchester United. Gary O'Driscoll.
He's got a decent CV on him. I'll give him that. And finally, then
he's also fun fact. Gary O'Driscoll also has a YouTube channel called Risky with Drisky, where he does things like bungee jumps and stuff like that.
Is that true? Risky with Drisky. Let's move on to our last appointment then, because we've got other stuff to talk about after this as well. On June the 4th, which is today,
I'm so hungry, man.
By any good metric. Well, you should have eaten then. It's 3:30. It's not a meal time, is it? Where were you at 1 p.m. for lunch?
I had lunch. Just hungry. I had lunch at 12 though.
I had lunch. I'm just a bit hungry still. Right. Today we are close to appointing Toby Craig, get on it, former Chelsea and Manchester City as Chief Communications Officer. Now this is less of a sort of player role, isn't it? He's not going to be doing too much liaising with the players, or certainly not on the footballing side of things. I'm sure he'll be speaking to the players. But it's another person that's come in, another restructure, and it's a relatively high role, that Chief Communications Officer. They do a lot of work with the players and in and around the club, as far as I'm aware. What do we know about Toby Craig?
Right. He's a corporate affairs, marketing and public affairs professional with particular expertise in sports, legal and professional services. Part of the Leaders in Sports Leaders Under 40 class of 2018. He was nominated for the Public Affair News Newcomer of the Year award in 2007. That's a big award. You want to be down for that one. And named in PR Week's 29 Under 29 feature, listing the 29 most promising young professionals in the PR industry for 2010. He's a non-practicing barrister. Check him out.
Yes, man.
To the Bar at Lincoln's Inn. And he was published in the Times Council and PSMG on marketing and communications. This man has been there, done that, wore the T-shirt. He was Director of Communications and Public Affairs at Chelsea Football Club for a year and 10 months. He was part of City Football Group as well, where he held a number of roles, including
Blimey.
Director of Corporate Affairs, Director of Corporate and Commercial Communications, and also Head of Marketing Communications. He's a board member of the Manchester China Forum as well.
Interesting.
And he was head of communications for the General Counsel of the Bar, as well as the Director of Communications for the Global Law Summit. He studied at the University of London. University.
He's been about
University of London City. Yeah.
This is what happens when you first get LinkedIn. You think you just start reading everyone's job history for ages, and then you realise none of it really matters, does it? But he's come in as well. Based on what you've seen on his LinkedIn, do you think he's a good appointment?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I do actually. Right, there is Manchester United's current structure then.
He's been there, done that, wore the T-shirt, hasn't he?
He's done it all. He's worn the wig and the gown, hasn't he? He's handled the gavel. He knows what he's doing.
If we need someone to just make sure we're on the right side of the law, we can also bend those laws a little bit and, fiddle them to our advantage. He's the man.
Yeah, bend those laws over and fiddle them right to our advantage. That's what I say. That is Manchester United's structure then, as it stands. Obviously, we wait news on the manager. I want to talk about a few other things because there's been some big transfer rumours in the last couple of days, Adam, that I need to get your take on. First of all, coming from Court Offside yesterday, they are saying that Saudi Pro League club... Well, Saudi Pro League club Al Nassr are ready to offer 90 to 100 million euros for Casemiro. Thoughts?
That's not true. Maybe it's including wages and everything, and they've just made it up and come to a nice sexy number so everyone would click on it and talk about it like we are now.
Well, they wouldn't catch us doing that, would they? Bruno Fernandes. Barcelona have been offered the chance to sign Bruno Fernandes by the club's representatives. That's according to the Mirror.
This feels like it's posturing for a new deal at Manchester United, which is an interesting one because Bruno Fernandes is very well in his rights to say I should be one of the highest paid players at Manchester United. But if that means going up to 350, 400,000 pounds, INEOS and the gang are well within their rights to go, we don't want to be doing that because you're going to turn 30 anymore this year. And that probably means we need to give you a 4-year deal on top of that. Is that worth it, etc., etc. I hope it doesn't lead to him leaving. Maybe just bump him up to 300k and keep it on the same contract length as he's got now.
Yep. Very nice. And the final then, this one's from today, and I think there's probably a little bit more in this, certainly more people commenting on it. First of all, from Record, which is a Portuguese outlet, they've said that United have made a £51 million bid for João Neves, the central midfielder there, that was immediately rejected out of hand. And then following that, Fabrizio Romano has tweeted saying that Benfica's stance on João Neves is very clear. They want the €120 million release clause or have no plans to negotiate for his exit this summer. Apparently United, City and Arsenal scouts have been monitoring for a while, but Benfica want to keep him. Do you know much about him? Do you like him? What do you make of that?
He's got a bit of the Ander Herrera's about him when you look at him, hasn't he?
What, visually? Facially, you mean?
Yeah, visually. I haven't seen a whole lot of him.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend otherwise, but I've heard good things about him, and he's obviously linked with a load of big clubs. He's quite young, so you can understand them demanding quite a high fee. Coming from Portugal to England has some, you have some really good players that have done that. You have some other players that weren't so good. So I don't know. I'm not too sure. I'd like to see us sign that profile of player though. 19 years old.
Yeah.
With, big future ahead of him. That's the kind of players we should be signing, especially if we're going to spend big bucks on them.
Yeah, just as a bit of a general overview on what he's like for anyone who hasn't seen much of him or doesn't know much about him. He is a central midfielder, like you said, 19 years old, Portuguese, plays for Benfica. And when you look at his numbers, he's just incredibly well-rounded. So when you're looking at comparing him to the non-top 5 league nations, so that obviously affects things a little bit. But he's in the top 2% for passes completed, a lot of successful take-ons and carries, so he likes to move the ball whilst keeping out his feet. He's big on blocks, tackles, interceptions, gets a decent amount of goals as well. He's one of those people that you look at all of his stats and if it was on FIFA, they'd all be above 80. He's that kind of player where just very well rounded, can do a little bit of everything, and just one of those sort of dynamic, high energy, high impact kind of players who can sort of, like I said, do stuff in his own box and in the opposition box as well. He's that kind of guy. So do United need a player of that profile, do you think? He's more defensive than he is attacking, but he's very much a possession and number 8 kind of player.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Even with Kobbie Mainoo coming through and a lack of Casemiro style player.
Yeah, because you can have him and another, can't you? In there. Also, if you can play a little bit deeper, that's fine. Mm-hmm. So can Kobbie, they can kind of interchange, you know what I mean?
Yeah. When you're
we do need a 6 as well.
When you're speaking right now, are you imagining a sandwich or a pizza or some sort of fried chicken? What is it that's...
Yeah.
I can see there is food in your eyes. What are you imagining? What are you having?
I can see it in your eyes.
There's a sandwich, crisps and drink from Tesco, a meal deal in your eyes. What are you having? What are you imagining right now? You're about to go and have some food. What is it going to be?
I'd love like a nice chicken burger right now,
Oh, yeah.
Chicken sandwich, as the Americans call it.
When you're having a chicken burger, what are you having on there? Talk to me condiments, talk to me salads.
I'm very simple, I'm very simple, lettuce, cheese, a little bit of chili mayo. Yeah, just keep it simple. I hate burgers where you're trying to wrestling to keep it all together. I hate that.
Yeah.
I like to just be able to just, either hold it all and just have a bite or cut it in half, but it's not going mental.
Yeah. I think the problem...
I don't want it fighting back when you're trying to eat it. Or, when you end up with a little bit of bun, but you got loads, like, what? Like, how did the bun on the top, how did I eat 3/4 of the bun on top, but only 1/4 of the bun on the bottom?
Yeah, I hate that. The key culprit for this is the thickly sliced beef tomato, which everything else is just using as an ice.
Or the lettuce, sometimes you have to say I can't have lettuce because it's going to slip and slide all over the place.
Can't be doing that.
And then you just go cheese and onions.
Very finely shredded lettuce. You get around that problem a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to let you go now. You can have your lunch. You've been through United's new structure. We've all been through it. You've signed up for LinkedIn. This is a big day for you. This is a big day. So if I'm going to
edit that soon.
Get your LinkedIn down there. You'll see Adam in a
I'll
new
be
job
on State
very,
of
very
LinkedIn soon.
Yeah, you'll be one of those guys posting about how privileged you are to be at the same company for 3 years. I'm
going to start posting like Andrew Tate. Not the good one, the weird one.
Right, we're going to go there. Thank you very much to everyone for watching at home. And thank you once again to Manscaped as well. Again, use the code Paddock20 at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. Thank you, Adam. Go and enjoy your beautiful chicken sandwich. Go and enjoy it. Thank you to everyone at home. And we'll see you in a bit.
Why is there a thumb up on the screen? What's happened? Have I finished? Why am I moving no more?